When somebody jokes about your mommy issues, they're mocking the moment that your nervous system stopped being yours and started running on your mother's. See, mommy issues are not a punchline, and they're not a label for men who pick the wrong women. And they are not just about whether you got along with your mom or not. Mommy issues are the maternal nervous system's emotional climate that gets installed into a man or a woman's body before you ever had language. And that climate has been the inner emotional weather system you've been living ever since. So if your mother was anxious, then your emotional baseline is going to be anxious. If your mother was rage-filled, then your baseline is going to be emotionally to freeze or to brace. Now, if your mother withdrew from you, then your baseline is to reach and to chase. Now, that's not bonding. That's an emotional blueprint download. And this can happen to both men and women. This isn't just a male issue. Now, once I had a man who's in his 50s came in to see me. He was very successful. He was very controlled, very certain. You never would have guessed that this emotional blueprint was underneath everything. And he insisted that his mother had nothing to do with his relationship struggles. He said, I'm basically here because my wife thinks I have mommy issues. So I asked him a simple question. I said, when your wife gets quiet, what does your body do? He sat there and thought about it for a second. He said, I get this knot in my stomach, and I start scanning the room to figure out what I did wrong. I then asked him, what's your first memory of ever having that exact same feeling right there in your gut? And you could see him. He just sort of braced and his eyes got wide, and that's when he said, it was when my mom was upset about anything. She just wouldn't speak. She'd become almost catatonic and go quiet. And that's when I said, do you see that when your wife goes quiet, you're not seeing your wife's face. You're actually reliving your mother and seeing your mother's silent treatment from the kitchen 40 years ago. It's still being filed in your body as a present-day emergency. He went quiet for about a minute, and then he said, I've never connected those two things. And that is what we're going to do for you today, whether you're a man or a woman who has these mommy issues, regardless of what sex you are, and regardless of how much you love your mom, regardless of whether you would ever use the words mommy issues out loud. Because you see, from the day you were born until somewhere between the ages of 5 and 7, your brain was running in what neuroscientists call a theta brainwave state, which is basically mild hypnosis. So you had no emotional filter, no emotional firewall to stop absorbing your parents' emotions. Now, in my client's case, it was his mother's emotional operating system. All of it. All of her unresolved trauma, her unresolved tension, her shame, her chronic worry, her shutdown, her rage, her hidden grief. All of those emotions were downloaded directly into his body as if it were his own. And this happens to all of us. This isn't just someone with mommy issues. I don't care who you are and why you came to watch this video. This happens to every single child on the planet. We all absorb our parents' emotional condition, and that's what forms our so-called personality. So your parents' nervous system was your nervous system. Whatever they felt, your body recorded it as the definition of this is normal. So by the time you started forming memories, the install was already complete. So when you say, I've always been this anxious, or I was born this way, or I've always been the calm one, in fact, we know that even in the uterus, a mother's emotional condition is actively shaping and changing a child's DNA and cell structure. You were born the calm one. You were born the anxious one because of what was going on in your mother. And then later, the impact of both mom, dad, brother, sister, teacher, preacher, coach, all the emotional conditions of the caregivers and people around you are what formed your emotional blueprint operating system. And so if you've always struggled to ask for what you need, You're not describing your personality. You're describing the operating system that was given to you before you ever could even give consent. That's why the joke version is so harmful. It frames mommy issues as a flaw in you, when in reality, you're just running her unhealed emotional blueprint code. And both sexes, as I've said, both sexes can carry this. So the man who keeps choosing emotionally unavailable women is just recreating the mother whose attention he could never catch. The woman who shrinks every time her partner raises his voice is recreating the mother whose moods she had to navigate at age 4. The high achiever who can't rest is running the mother blueprint who only smiled when his report card came home and he had straight A's. The people pleaser who erases herself in every relationship is running the mother whose feelings were always more important than her own feelings. The man who shuts down the second a woman expresses a need is running the emotional blueprint created by the engulfing mother who absorbed him and called it love. Same wound, different presentation. Same internal emotional blueprint weather system. Again, this isn't just mothers who imprint us this way, fathers do as well. Any caregiver, the emotional operating system of whoever was closest to us as children, they all download this into us. So we aren't blaming mothers. This isn't about blame. This is just how the human system learns about emotions. We just swallow the emotional condition of our caregivers. Could be a mother, father, grandparent, whoever it was that raised us. And this is where what I call the worst day cycle, which I wrote about in my first book, Your Journey to Success, lives quietly underneath your entire adult life. You see, it has 4 stages: trauma, fear, shame, and denial. Now, the trauma stage, it's not always a single event. It's very often just the simple emotional climate you were raised in. And those unprocessed emotional moments that were too big for you as a child, they create the original traumatic emotional blueprint system. And that leads you into fear. And the fear is that if you ever stop performing the role that her nervous system shaped you for, you'll lose her. Even if she's been gone for years, isn't even on this planet anymore, or even if she's sitting right next to you on the holidays. What comes after that, because the inability to navigate that triggers stage 3, shame. This is the whisper that says wanting something different, needing something different, having your own ideas about the world, or your own needs and wants, makes you a bad child, an ungrateful son, or a selfish daughter. And then, because those 3 things are so overwhelming, denial sets in. And denial puts a sweet mask on top of the whole thing. And this is where you absolve your parents of their perfect imperfections. And you justify, you minimize, you condone, you repress, suppress, you minimize all of it. And you just say, she did the best she could. It's not her fault. Now that can be true. And it's also true that her best left you with emotional wounds. So your denial is what stops the conversation from going to the place that would actually heal it. So let me name what these emotional blueprint mommy issues actually look like in adult life. The first is the emotional overwhelm, where you can't trace it, where you feel anxious or flat or for just no obvious reason. The second is choosing partners whose moods you have to manage. Exactly the same job you had to do at home with her. The third is over-explaining yourself when nobody even asked. Fourth is bracing the second someone goes quiet. The fifth is feeling guilty when you're happy. The sixth is the strange flatness or panic that shows up around your own children. The seventh is the unspoken loyalty contract, where becoming your own person feels like a betrayal of her. Those aren't personality traits. This isn't who you are. Those are all her unhealed emotional blueprints still running inside of you. So how do you remap it? How do you rewire these emotional blueprints? Well, it starts with something I call the authentic self cycle, which combats the worst day cycle. And I wrote about this in my second book, Your Journey to Being Yourself. And it contains 4 things also. The first is truth, then responsibility, then healing and forgiveness. The truth is that loving your mother, it's okay. Even the way she is, even if you're discovering, oh my gosh, this all happened to me, it's okay to still love her. I'm not asking you to give that up. I'm not asking you to never talk to your mother again. That's not it. All I'm saying is you also have to admit and accept that she was imperfect, and those imperfections hurt you and have left lasting wounds and emotional blueprint system that doesn't work for you. Responsibility is not to confront her or to fix her. I mean, depending on the situation, you might have a discussion with her. That's really situation dependent. It's not required. The biggest thing is to recognize it's not your job to fix her. Your job and the responsibility is to stop unconsciously reproducing her emotional blueprint in your life, in your marriage, in your own parenting, and in your body. Now you do that by taking responsibility for your healing. And healing is what happens when you develop the knowledge, skills, and tools to remap and rewire your emotional blueprint so that your nervous system finally gets to feel an emotional baseline that isn't hers. And when you do those 3, you arrive at forgiveness. Because after you've grieved the mother you needed but didn't get, from that place you can forgive yourself for running her emotional blueprint, and also see that because we don't teach these things, your mother is not bad. She's not defective. She did do the best she could with where she was at the time, but it just wasn't enough, and that's okay. She can be forgiven for that. So then we get into the next step. How do we actually remap and rewire your emotional blueprint and stop this old one from running? Well, that's where we use my emotional authenticity method. And so my suggestion is the next time you feel the old feelings, run these 6 steps. The first one is to get into metacognition. This is the space between feeling and thought where you can access your authentic self before the emotional blueprint was placed into you, okay? And so the next time the old feeling shows up, just take 30 to 60 seconds and focus on whatever you can hear in the room, because your nervous system has to calm down before your mind can even hear or consider anything new, all right? That's the first step in the remapping process. Then you're going to move into the 4 questions of the emotional authenticity process. The first one is asking yourself, what am I actually feeling? Are you anxious? Are you unsafe? Do you feel watched or never enough? What is it? Then you're going to move to the next question is, where do I feel this in my body? Where am I storing this anxiety, this fear, this sense of not being enough? Is it in your chest, in your stomach, your back? Locate it, because we store those original traumatic emotional moments. Even if we don't remember the moment, we will store the feeling in our body. Then we move to the next question, and we start, this is where we uncover the truth that, yeah, I'm stuck in a worst day cycle. And when I react to this, I'm actually still reacting from my earliest wounds with my parent, most often your mother if you have mother issues. And I'm not actually an adult in this moment. I'm reliving my worst day cycle emotional blueprint that was placed into me. And you ask yourself, what's my earliest memory I have of feeling this exact same feeling? Because this is the step where you finally see where your emotional blueprint, survival persona, and your worst day cycle were built. Now, once you have that truth and that awareness, now we're going to show you who you were before that emotional blueprint was placed into you. And you do that with the final question, which is, who would I be if I never had this feeling again? If it were wiped off the face of the earth and wasn't even possible, what would be left over? What would I think and feel then? Well, from that place, you wouldn't feel the anxiety, the overwhelm. You'd know exactly what you think, what you want, what you need. You'd know how to express it. You'd know how to act. That's who you are, who you came into this world before their perfect imperfections were placed into you. And now that you have the feeling reality of your authentic self, you move to the final step, what I call feelization. And this is where you sit in this feeling of your authentic self to make it as strong as possible until your body slowly builds a new emotional chemical addiction to your authentic self emotional blueprint instead of hers. And so you look at all these different situations in your life where you're firing her emotional blueprint and you go, you run through the 6 steps. Who would I be without this? From this place, I would actually think this, I would feel this, I would do this. And you visualize and feel yourself acting and reacting in those ways so that this becomes the new blueprint that runs the next time that trigger happens. You don't grab for the old emotional blueprint, which keeps you stuck in your mommy issues, and instead you grab your authentic self cycle and authentic self emotional blueprint and run that instead. Now, before I go, I just want to say again, you're not to blame and you're not broken. You and her did the best you could with the information you had at the time. But now that you know more, you know about the worst day cycle, the authentic self cycle, the emotional authenticity method, you can make the choice to equip yourself with the knowledge, skills, and tools to do more. So don't forget, you were just emotionally programmed, but programs can be rewritten. So I hope this helped you, and I'll see you in the next video.